example, some kind of functionality is usually work, right? With any project, you take it and implement it, so you see it in action.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot can you mute yourself for a second? Like, I'm getting feedback for some reason.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
I can maybe mute you. Oh, there you go. You got it. All right. So, just to briefly review it again, the right now, for people that are watching, the plan for this session is to, on the Meteor.js Club website, change out this mailing list form and make it a little more functional. Instead of going to MailChimp, I wanted to go to Drip. So we're going to use the Drip API, and then we're going to add some collection functionality around here too, so you get a little more feedback. So it's kind of the goal of this session, and we've got Meteor Prague on the line. They're going to be my second set of eyes. All right, so just do Meteor run. Already got something running. Let me kill it. Use Vim. Can you guys see okay? Just give me a thumbs up if. All right, awesome. And the hotkey, if you're on a Mac, is just Command D, and that'll unmute you. That might make it a little faster.
All right, it works fine.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so I guess we'll just. Usually, when I open an app, I haven't been in here in a while, so I just start with the router, which is in librouter, and that's so that you can do things like a 404 page. You need to keep your router file going to both client and server, so that's generally why I tend to keep the router in librouter. It makes it easier to do server-side routing as well if you need to, but yeah, so actually I think we're on a branch. We probably want to we'll just keep going on that branch. All right. So this was the other part that I was working on in another session, was adding like the Q&A support, but I don't think we're quite there yet. This seems like a more immediate need for me, mailing list. All right, so we've got a subscribers collection. We've got a template called home, which is the front page. And you can see here when you submit the form, we collect the info out of it, and then we just make a Meteor call to a subscribe function, which sends a Google Analytics event. If you're not familiar, this is CoffeeScript, by the way, on the right, and JavaScript on the left. This project's a little manic, but yeah, so it'll run this callback once the subscribe call finishes, and I think we can pass an error. I'm gonna pull up the docs.
Why did you actually move from MailChimp?
What was that? You're cutting up.
Why did you actually move from MailChimp? What was the reason?
So I want to, like right now, when you log into MailChimp, they have this notion of lists. And you can see, like I've got 1,300 people on this list, but then like the 8 Days of Meteor is a separate list and it's got 57 people on it, and I actually moved that list already. But if we go here, like Drip just has this notion of a subscriber, and I can add tags to a subscriber and then subscribe them to like a Drip campaign, or I can do a broadcast. So I think this one fits my model a little better, because people that get on my main list, I don't. There's not a lot of heavy marketing. It's more just like trying to help them with Meteor, and then at some point something that I say might interest them, they'll click on it, and then they'll start to get into another campaign, so to speak. Like, they're interested in 8 Days of Meteor or Mastering Meteor. The idea is like I can track how they're kind of flowing through to different lists and that kind of thing. So I think it just gives me better analytics and better tools. I guess that's the boiled down answer. Yeah, so I think based on what I'm seeing here in the JavaScript API for Drip, we can actually just make the call client side, because I'm pretty sure we already have this Drip tag inserted for other stuff. So like here, this is already going to Drip. So it's just another page, but it goes to Drip. So I guess we need to maybe figure that out if that tag's in there. Client use layout. We need a layout client layout. There it is. Layout.html. There's Google Analytics. Yeah, here's the Drip tag. So we've got a var, like a window var that we can call. And we can just, I think, make this call client side. Just like this. You do a DCQ push. So the identify method pushes subscribers into Drip. If the subscriber is not in your account, we'll create a new record for them. Otherwise, we'll update the record with the information you pass in. And so the idea being like if they're on the main page, they're going to join kind of like the main Meteor Club list. And then if they're on the Learn page right here, they'll join the Mastering Meteor Drip course. So I think basically what we do is we'll comment this out. We can start to put a call in here somewhere. So I'll just copy this. Of course, it's JavaScript. So we're going to call identify, and then we're going to pass some stuff in here. We'll just put a tag on them for Meteor Club. I don't remember what it looks like when they submit, so we'll just put a debugger there real quick and take a look. Oops. Open this guy up. There we go. And so because I just said debugger right there, like the JavaScript console will pick up on that and pause my code. And then we're kind of in it here, so I can look at the subscriber info. We get an email, a full name, and an options radio. So I guess the smart way to do the options radio here is I'm an advanced Meteor.js developer, or I'm just starting out with Meteor. So it's like beginner versus advanced Meteor developer. And I want to keep track of that because I've got different things. Like if they're a beginner, I'll probably send them like JavaScript links. And if they're more advanced, I'll probably start with like here's some testing articles that might be interesting to you, or here's some performance articles that might be interesting to you. Whereas like beginners are not necessarily going to want to read that stuff right away. So it's an array. So we'll do something like we'll do a ternary right here, and basically if it's true, we'll return advanced, and then if it's false, we'll return beginner. Is that right? Yeah. Sorry, my dogs are barking. And so then we'll just pass stage right here in the tags. And then I don't know the best way to handle name. Let's look at these subscribers and see what they look like. Huh. That's funny. We actually made the call. I guess because we didn't pass the, I guess we did. We passed John at Acme. To delete this one out. So we've got refer. This one maybe. Okay, so I'm tracking full name instead of first name. I'll just say subscriber info dot full name. And subscriber info dot email. All right, so we'll save that. We'll get out of the debugger. Delete the subscriber. Da, 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 da. Subscribe, and then we'll check the API, see if it worked. I think because I'm already in here, we'll have to go find me. That didn't work because we don't see the tag we added. Did we get an error maybe? Yes. Subscribe info. I forgot an E. Gosh. Subscriber info. Alright, so no error that time. Refresh. So we got the Meteor Club tag, but we did not get this tag. Is definitely not right. Might not be doing my coffee script ternary right. Yeah, you just got to do it if else. Do if, then else. There we go. So now I've tagged mine as a beginner, and it's got the Meteor Club on here. And so then what I can do is I can watch for that tag to be added, and then just automatically put them into the I'll create a new campaign in here. I'll mess with the form later because that'll go on my blog. But then you can create these automation rules, and I can say apply to tag, Meteor Club. Then we can subscribe to a campaign. I can put them on the Meteor Club campaign. Activate, save rule. And now they'll join that mailing list. And so there's some other work I have to do behind the stages to get all the other people imported. But then I can just, when I want to email people, I can just send out a broadcast and kind of control my mailing list that way. So the other thing we want to do here is, I wonder if we get some kind of notification back that it worked or not, because I'd really like to up the UI response game here a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So we do get a response. So let's just make a callback right here. I'll throw a debugger here and see if it works the way we want. So basically, I think we're just going to look at the success boolean and then decide what to show the people on the page. Didn't work. Oh, I see. I have to put the callback inside the properties. So it says here we get a success and a failure callback. That's close. Oops. Be more like this. Success. Be a callback. The response here. Bugger. Failure. Will be a callback. Response. There we go. So we're getting the we're hitting the success debugger now. And our response object has success true. It gives us a user ID if we want, anonymous, false, email, blah blah blah. So we could probably do something interesting with that. The first one being, let's reset the form. So I use something called Simple Form. It's a package I wrote. Makes it easy to handle form inputs. And one of the helpers it gives you is this reset form. So we'll just give it the target, which will be the form that we're working with. The other thing that's probably interesting, we'll look at what packages we have. CoffeeScript. There's another package I like, Coffee Alerts. Kind of gives you that toast or that bootstrap style alert on the page. Okay. Use the command line Meteor search coffee. See what that gives us. Here it is, pfafman coffee alerts. Yeah, if you haven't seen that before, you can do a Meteor search from the command line, and it'll pull back all the same stuff that's on Atmosphere. So, like Atmosphere's running kind of slow. So, all right, move this over. Come on. There we go. Turn these alerts off too. There we go. Now we won't get distracted. All right, so we added those in, and now we do need the docs. So we need to add this partial somewhere into our template. Put it right here above the yield. Oops. And then right here, you can say coffee, I think it was just alerts dot alert. Actually, we want to say success. Coffee alerts.success. And it'll make it green for us. Coffee alerts.success. And then we get this, you've been subscribed up here in the corner, and it fades out. Can we maybe specify the amount of time or the location maybe? You have to specify it globally. Just in client, I'll make a coffee alerts dot coffee, I guess. And we'll use a Meteor startup call to kind of wrap it. Yeah, still gonna do that. Oops. Let's see what that looks like. Slide this guy down here. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, maybe that's not the best because it's kind of up in the corner. But without the, at least without this up, I think maybe it'll be more obvious to people. Take that debugger out of there. So let's see if we can trigger the other one. Okay, so we can't even trigger a bad email. So I guess what we'll do for now is we'll just console log response, and then we'll coffee alerts, because I don't know what's going to trigger a failure here. Warning, there was an issue signing up. And so, I don't know, like maybe this is also a bad experience because we're not able to tell them what the problem was, and we're really just console logging it, so I'm not necessarily getting warned about this. So another interesting thing that I thought we could maybe cover today, or at least start to get into, is maybe playing with segment, and we could create an event that happens kind of when this triggers, when this error triggers. So I don't know how far we'll get in 20 minutes, but we can start playing with that as well. The other thing, let's go look at the server method. Right now, the server method that we were calling before is making a MailChimp call and subscribing them to the list. And then we're doing a subscriber insert right here as well. So we can actually just change all this. gonna leave that in there for now. We can just put the call back, meteor.call subscribe. We'll give it subscriber info. And then in our response, we had something there. I don't have access to it anymore. I'm going to put a debugger back in here again. Yeah, we get a visitor UUID, so we're just going to pass that in as well. Response.visitor UUID. At some point, I need to read up what that visitor UUID does. Share ID. But I'm assuming it has something to do with like their IP address and some combination of that kind of stuff. So I just want to track that in my database as well. All right. Actually, you know what would be interesting? We can just make a method here that takes the response object to subscriber error insert. So we'll just make a new collection. And we'll insert just the raw response because it's coming back as a JavaScript object already. And so that's at least something I can just go look at the database for now. Subscriber errors, no, I want to just call meteor.call, subscriber error, pass the response. And then you just need to make a collection, subscriber errors. There we go. And so now at least we're, like, if it's going to happen, we're at least tracking it in a way that's, like, findable for me anyway. Also, for now, I'm going to continue to make this Google Analytics call. Success. There we go. And so I think we've now created a better experience for the user on the front page. Although I think I'm saying I'm advanced, but it's returning beginner, so maybe a flaw in my logic. Subscribe. Let's look at stage. No, we can't look at stage. We're too far down the stack because we're in a callback. We can look here at subscriber. Uh-oh. Of course, Drip is going to have trouble right when I'm trying to verify something. We can move the debugger up too. Don't need it there anymore. Right here. Where's the train? Yeah, so that seems backwards. True. Actually, I think it's returning yes and no, perhaps. Yeah. So we're in CoffeeScript land, so we can just make it read nice. If subscriber is yes, then advanced, else beginner. See what we get now. Still getting beginner. That's returning true. Let's look at the output at HTML again. The outputted JavaScript. So when you're using Coffee, they keep an event map so you can see the CoffeeScript. But then, oh, I see what the problem is. Subscriber info dot option radios. We got radio right here. But anyway, I'll finish what I was saying there. If I go to client, let's see, views, home.coffee is right here, and then home.coffee.js is right below it. And so you can see what the outputted JavaScript looks like if you're using a CoffeeScript. I may spend an evening converting this all to JavaScript. I think it's an easier thing to teach. So my apologies for all the CoffeeScript guys. Let's see if that's going to work for us. I'm going to pause right there. So we'll just console log stage prior to hitting continue. There we go. That time we said advanced. Nice. All right. Yeah. So we can see the advanced got set right here. All right. I don't know. That's probably a pretty good breaking point. If you guys want to just have a chat about what I did, or thoughts or questions. I think the interesting thing here is we were able to integrate with an API. There was a client-side API that we could use, and so we actually went from making server-side calls to MailChimp to making client-side calls to Drip. So, that's always interesting to me. I think it's kind of fun to be able to work with the client-side version of APIs, so to speak. You guys are on mute.
Yeah, we don't have any questions regarding this, but there was a question before, as you were typing, that when you use Meteor methods, if you're losing latency compensation automatically, you're still keeping it. How does it work? Did you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. Say that again?
If you're using Meteor call method, if you're using Meteor methods, if you are you losing latency compensation automatically?
Let me look. I'm going to mute you for a second. Yeah, so no, right now I'm not using any latency compensation. That file was in the server directory. So if you wanted to do latency compensation, you'd either have to move that somewhere that it's shared, so like the lib folder or the collections. I usually try to keep, like I'll probably move this because my standard is to keep methods that are working with a collection. So in this particular instance, like subscribers.insert or subscriber errors.insert, like those I would move in to be just underneath where I create my collection. So being like collection/subscriber.coffee, and then from there, like you're automatically getting a stub. So when you write a Meteor method, by default, if it loads in the client, it's going to try to run that code as a stub. So you may have to use like meteor.isClient or meteor.isServer if you need particular kind of functionality to occur in one environment or the other. But there's not going to be a huge gain here in latency compensation. I mean, we're just making a call to an API, and if I latency compensate and automatically showed the alert, but then it failed, like that's I think going to be a worse user experience. So I'm not sure that I would necessarily change any of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions?
So if you put the code in a server, in the server directory, the client doesn't even try to do latency compensation. Am I understanding it right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would suggest using docs and look at method stubs, and that's kind of where latency compensation happens.
Up. Čo sa stalo? Kde som si ušiel? To čo sa stalo? Nič naspäť.
Right, our next speaker is Ryan Walker, co-founder of Differential, presenting alongside Greg Nyheisel, partner at Differential.
All right, any more?
No, sorry, just lost video for a while, but it's okay right now. Any other questions, guys? I think we can continue on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, hopefully it was somewhat. All right, guys. See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.